Over the past few weeks, Carlos Alcaraz has been at the center of an interesting conversation in the tennis world. Some fans and analysts have started pointing out that his serve now looks very similar to Novak Djokovic's, and a few have even gone as far as accusing the young Spaniard of copying Djokovic's technique.
You wanted to say like it's really similar to Djokovic's serve. I knew you went to everyone has to make changes. For example, I just changing the movement a little bit. I just feel really comfortable.
While that might sound a bit dramatic, the discussion really picked up during the 2026 Australian Open, where Alcaraz appeared with a noticeably adjusted serve motion. If you watch Alcaraz closely in Melbourne, especially during his service games, the similarities are quite clear. The biggest resemblance can be seen at the very start of the motion. The stance, the rhythm before the toss, and the way he initiates the movement all look familiar to anyone who has watched Djokovic serve over the years. Slow-motion clips and side-by-side comparisons quickly spread online, fueling debates about whether this change was intentional or just a natural evolution of Alcaraz's game. Of course, context is important. Alcaraz has never been shy about making adjustments and looking for ways to improve. Even after winning Grand Slams and establishing himself as one of the best players on tour, he has continued to work on his technique with his team. In today's tennis, where the margins are incredibly small, improving the serve is often a top priority. Studying one of the most reliable and effective serves in history is hardly surprising. After Novak Djokovic won his first-round match at the Australian Open, he was asked about the topic during his post-match press conference. Reporters wanted to know how he felt about the comparisons and the idea that Alcaraz might be borrowing elements from his serve. Djokovic's answer immediately made it clear that he was not bothered by the situation at all.
As soon as I saw it, I sent him a message, and I said, we have to speak about the copyrights. And then when I saw him here, I told him we have to speak about percentage of his winnings. Every ace, I expect, a tribute to me. Every ace that he makes here. So let's see if he's going to stick to the agreement.
Instead of taking the question seriously or defensively, Djokovic responded with humor and a bit of sarcasm. He joked about the notion of someone owning a served technique and made it clear that tennis has always worked this way. His reaction quickly took the tension out of the discussion and reminded everyone that learning from others is part of the sport. Djokovic also emphasized an important point. Taking inspiration from other players is nothing to be ashamed of. In fact, it's often how progress happens. Throughout tennis history, players have borrowed ideas from one another, whether it's a specific stroke, movement pattern, or tactical approach. Djokovic himself has spoken in the past about watching and learning from those who came before him, adapting what worked for them to fit his own game. What really stood out in his response was the respect he showed toward Alcaraz. Rather than framing the situation as imitation in a negative sense, Djokovic seemed to see it as a form of admiration. He made it clear that he doesn't mind and even appreciates that a young player like Alcaraz might look to him as a reference point. For Djokovic, it's simply part of the natural cycle of the sport. In the end, this whole debate probably says more about how closely tennis is analyzed today than about Alcaraz's serve itself. Every small change is noticed, compared, and discussed. But as Djokovic's reaction shows, evolution is a normal and healthy part of the game. Alcaraz isn't trying to be Novak Djokovic, he's trying to improve, and learning from one of the greatest players of all time is a perfectly reasonable way to do that. Rather than controversy, this moment highlights something positive: how champions inspire the next generation, and how the sport continues to evolve through shared knowledge and respect. What do you think about Djokovic's answer? I read you in the comments. And if you like this update, leave a like and subscribe. See you in the next one.